So in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to create a panoramic image going both through Lightroom and also through Photoshop. If you do it through Lightroom, you still will need Photoshop. Do take that into consideration. I have Lightroom 4 and CS6. You can use earlier versions. This is just what I have right now. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to go ahead and do it through Lightroom first. Now I have my images pulled up here, my 5. When making a panoramic, it's very simple. You just start out with one photograph. You want to make sure you do not change your focus. Leave it in manual focus and make sure it stays the same. That way it doesn't affect the image. You also want to make sure that your settings don't change, your aperture, your shutter speed, or your ISO. You want to make sure you maintain consistency in there. So you can just go ahead, like I said, start at one point and just start moving the camera around. In this case, I started from, this is the very left image, and it starts going towards the right. And when making a panoramic, at least 10% of one image must match up with the 10% of another image. Let's take this into consideration here now. We could see that we have these buildings here. They should match up over here with this image as well, so they can overlap and be stitched together. So if you do want to get more serious about panoramics, one thing I'll throw at you is look into nodal points for your tripods. They are kind of pricey, but they help you make spot-on panoramic images. Now I have these images pulled up here. They are TIFF files. They're previously edited. They're HDR. I know they don't look that amazing, but for the sake of making the video, I'll go ahead and use these. Now, just right-click on your selected photographs. Go ahead, go up to Edit In, and we will just go right down to Merge to Panorama in Photoshop. This may take a while, depending on the size of your images. So they will come up like this. Now, how do you want to do it? You can go ahead and just select Auto. You can try playing around with the other ones, but best one would be Auto. So your list of images come out here. Like I said, I'm using tips. All you have to do is click OK, and we just play the waiting game. Let all the files load up. Now, like I said, this will take a while. I do have a pretty fast processor, an i7, and I'm running 24 gigabytes of RAM as well. So at home, if you don't have that type of hardware, it may take a little bit longer. Okay, so our files here are pretty much done loading up. Right now, Photoshop is finishing up the process. It has overlapped the images, and now it's basically trying to figure out what is the best way to blend. Now you can see with the tweaking of the HDR that I did, the exposure is a little bit off, as well as the color temperature. Also, the other thing about that day, it was really windy. The clouds were moving really, really fast, so it might look off in some areas. But as you can see, it did a pretty good job of stitching everything together. Don't worry about these white lines. Not sure if it'll come up in the video, but it will disappear. As you can see, Photoshop has masked everything out the way that it thinks it will look the best. You can go ahead and just right click and merge layers, and we're done. Control J, make a duplicate. Go ahead and crop your image. Go ahead and lower that. Bring that up here. Make sure there's no empty areas coming out. Now, of course, you want to take the time to make sure everything's like it gets spot on. Your crop, your contrast, your highlight, shadows, midtones. But as I said, for the sake of the image, I apologize, for the sake of the video, went ahead and just did this quickie. And as you can see, there's our finished product. It does a pretty good job. We can go ahead and zoom. And those are the areas that I told you were going to be off. The clouds, because it was an HDR. It was a very windy day. But you can kind of see where the blending is off a bit. pretty good job everywhere else, but like I said, it does a really pretty good job, Photoshop does. And that's how you do it through Lightroom. Now, if you want to do it through just Photoshop itself, that's all you have. It's really simple. You just go into File, Scripts, Load Files into Stacks, and we're going to browse for the files, and I have them all set up here. Again, those are TIFF files. Click OK, there's our list. And so load files into stack, it's just going to load our files into a stack of layers in order of whatever it was in the folder. And there it is. So we go ahead and hit Shift. We select all our layers. We go into Edit. And then, where are you? We're going to go ahead and auto align our layers. Now it's going to be auto. We're going to click OK. Pretty much close to the same process as when we were importing from Lightroom, except just with that one click through Lightroom, it already knew what we wanted to do. And then we just click OK here, generates it, voila. There you have it. Same product, except just the layers are aligned. It still hasn't done the blend, so we go back. As you can see, it says auto align. Now we want to do auto blend. We want to do a panorama. Click OK. Let Photoshop do its thing here. Give it a couple seconds. Alright, and there we have it. Our layers are blended. Like I said, if these white lines appeared, no worries about that. We can go ahead and right click and merge layers because everything is already masked for you. So once we merge, everything gets blended. Control J, make our copy. We can go ahead and crop our image. And there you have it. That's how you make a panoramic through Lightroom and Photoshop. If you have any questions or constructive criticism, feel free to drop a comment and I'll be happy to oblige. Thank you very much. Have a good day.